Hi friends, I'm Nicholas Acciani. Let's talk backstage. So the world of theater is filled with a rich history that is thousands of years old. It's one of our oldest forms of storytelling. And with such a long history comes a long list of lore and superstition. A big lover of the supernatural myself, this has become a small little passion of mine, learning and discovering why we call certain things in theater by specific odd names, and what different ghosts may haunt different theaters. In fact, I've definitely had a couple run-ins with theater ghosts myself. Speaking of ghosts, the theater lore that I want to talk about right now is all about the ghost light, which is actually one of my favorite symbols and stories in theater. You may be able to tell that since it has become a part of this YouTube channel's logo and I put it everywhere. You may have heard the term ghost light or ghost lamp before. It's a centuries old tradition where a single light is left on when the theater goes dark, either for the night or in between productions. Modern or not, almost every superstition comes from something practical, and a ghost light is no different. A theater generally has no windows or any kind of external light in order to maintain the integrity of a show's light, so when everyone leaves for the night, it's usually pitch black, which can be dangerous for anyone coming into the stage first in the morning, not able to see set pieces or the edge of the stage or any cleaning crew that comes in at night. So the ghost light was created, also called an equity light or an equity lamp, most likely due to equity regulations, and it's used to cast light on a dark stage, mostly as a safety measure without using a whole lot of electricity and not costing the theater a ton of money. Traditionally, it's a single bulb in a cage on a pole, basically a freestanding light that sits in the middle of a dark stage. However, many modern theaters, because of safety regulations, will have these lights built into the grid or over the stage specifically for this purpose. So this makes sense, but where does it come from? Who was the first to use it? And that's where the folklore begins. As with anything this old, there are many stories, some of which are contradicting. One origin story talks about a burglar who came in to rob the theater, but tripped on the dark stage and broke his leg and then sued the theater for damages and won, which feels like a very American thing to do, I say as an American myself. The result was the creation of the ghost light to avoid any future lawsuits. An alternate history talks of the time before electricity when theaters were lit with gas lamps. A single light was left on and left dim in order to relieve pressure on the gas valves, which was also a safety thing. And then the tradition just continued from there. So these are just two origin stories of the light itself, but it's not called a safety light, it's called a ghost light. Again, theater having such a long history, nearly every theater, every physical theater has its own ghost story and its own ghost for that matter. Ask any theater professional and they'll have a ghost story for you. I've worked countless overnights in theaters alone, finishing sets, and I've heard things and seen things that can only be explained by the supernatural. And for many, leaving the ghost light on is a way of keeping these spirits at bay, keeping them from causing any mischief on the set during a production. Thus the name, Ghost Light. Keep the ghosts away. Another origin story for the name, and this is the one that I actually believe in, that I prefer to believe in, is that these lights are left on in order to light the stage for these ghosts to continue to perform. Maybe they died before they could perform their dream role, or this is their heaven, constantly getting to perform again and again. So this light stays on and gives them the stage. It keeps them from becoming frustrating from not being able to perform because you can't perform in the dark. So it keeps them from getting malevolent and from cursing the theater or the production. But whatever you believe, one thing is for certain, and that is that the ghost light has become a symbol of hope even in theaters today. The belief is that a dark theater is a place of bad luck or sadness, which it definitely is a place of sadness because nothing's on the stage. Many times, theaters go dark because of a lack of funding or a show that closed prematurely, or as we are currently experiencing, a pandemic which is keeping us from gathering in public places and keeping all of these theaters closed and keeping us from being able to perform. So the theater ghosts become restless, seeing the art suffer and their homes not being used as they were intended. So a ghost light is left on. It's a symbol of hope that the living will one day return and the shows will come back again. Broadway will come back again. And with that, the ghost light has become an iconic piece of theater history that continues in its tradition today. That's all I have on ghost lights. I mean, I have more, I have a ton of stories, but that's all I have for this video on ghost lights. If you have another version of their origin, be it the name or the light itself, or how your theater keeps a light on when everyone goes home, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. I love this type of thing. And I hope you learned something, and I'll see you next time. Bye, friends! These videos are made for educational purposes. Hopefully you learned something or it reinforced something you may already know. Now, this is just one way to do this, and there may be other ways to do what I've explained in this video, and I would love to hear about those ways in the comments. Just remember to be kind as you share your own experiences and expertise on the subject. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, like, and subscribe, and hit that little bell button to be notified of the next video.